Mind and body, breath and belief. Healing starts deeper than what you can see. Victoria Kennedy, guiding the way, where spirit and science meet every day. Real talk, real tools, helping you align. Welcome to the space where the body meets mind.
Hey everyone, I am Victoria Kennedy, medium clairvoyant from Los Angeles, California. And on today's episode of Spiritually Influenced, we're going to talk about entities and the different kind of entities. This is going to be the first part of a continuation segment that we will do and complete next week. All right, let's get into this. There are many forms of lower vibrational energies, as I call them bad jujus. One being a soul called Casper the Friendly Ghost, to a not so friendly the Casper the Ghost. When you have a lower vibrational energy, either as an attachment, meaning they are attached to your energetic field, or they are in your home, it does nothing but cause chaos. It can cause chaos in your relationships and in all aspects of your life to the point you cannot think clearly, and you end up blaming it on brain fog. Overall, it just causes disruption in your life and within your frequency. Each and every one of us, we all vibrate at a certain frequency, some higher or lower than others. Someone who is severely depressed versus someone who is happy-go-lucky all the time will have different frequency levels. When you have, again, remember, bad jujus are always going to be an entity, a ghost, okay? When you have a bad juju in your home, and depending on the strength, it can severely disrupt your frequency, your vibration, okay? It will leech onto you and climb on you simply so it can feed off of you. And this can cause you to feel sick to the point where you can develop physical symptoms such as depression, suicidal thoughts, and sometimes even have suicidal tendencies. So next time you think about your tia Lupe who might be standing behind you, moving objects or closing doors, it won't be your tia Lupe, but rather someone who is more heavier within their energy. And I'm not really sure why I'm using the name Tia Lupe, but we're going to continue using Tia Lupe for this podcast, okay? And don't get me wrong, when our loved ones transition, they do come back and they visit us. But they come back and they visit us through dreams, through memories, through thoughts. Your Tia Lupe would not try to harm you or hurt you or cause you any type of fear. And why? Because she is now in a different light, the light of God. So when they visit us, there's nothing but love and light. But there are times when our loved ones don't transition. And that could be possibly because they have a disconnect from God. Maybe they feel ashamed or embarrassed. Maybe they've committed suicide or died suddenly. This does not mean they're going to become a demon or a poltergeist, but they will add fear on top of fear. And here's something that a lot of us don't know, is that in the astral realm, which is the realm between heaven and earth, all the bad jujus who roam the halls in the astral realm, they can possess one another. So a poltergeist can possess another poltergeist and give that other poltergeist stronger energy. A demon can possess another demon and can give that demon stronger energy. A Casper, the Friendly the Ghost, can possess another Casper, the Friendly Ghost. So this is why I always say that any energy inside of your home that is not here walking in a human form within the physical realm, it's all heavy energy, and it will disrupt you. It will disrupt your life. Chaos. It will cause nothing but chaos. And it will have a negative impact on you, regardless of the strength of the energy. Isn't that a trip, how they're able to possess one another? So what are the different types of astral entities? Well, the first one is demons. Demons are the most common type of entities, otherwise known as bad jujus, right? And they are simply lost mental beings who wander about in the astral world, lonely. They fear, they're extremely defensive, they're confused, angry, often sick and in pain. They're earth fascinated. They're aware of only the lower mental planes and the physical world. However, they still desire to express, but they don't have any physical bodies through which to express in the physical world. So they often will try to express in the physical world and try to take over one's mind or physical body of an actually physical person. So that way they can express themselves. And this is what is commonly known as a demonic possession, which is very, very real. Number 2, fakers. Fakers are entities who have little self-acceptance. And so they try to gain attention by pretending to be someone else, aka your Tia Lupe we talked about earlier. And sometimes they will even try to portray themselves as well-known individuals in history. They sometimes try to gain a person's confidence by claiming to be their inner Christ, Jesus, Mother Mary. Sometimes they even say they're George Washington or even the devil or Satan. I can honestly say I've never encountered a faker. And normally you will see this if someone is homeless and you see them talking to this invisible presence, who to them is very real. See, fakers rarely show themselves to someone such as myself, who has the ability to see them. But you will also see this in a mental hospital and even in elderly care facilities. You know, the patients will tell you they're Jesus, they're George Washington, they're Napoleon, or some other noted figure. These patients are more than likely channeling faker entities. Number 3, demonics. These are entities that are extremely, and I mean extremely, disturbed. They're terrified and they're wild. They're literally all over the place with their energy. They are completely out of their minds, and they are the most vivid and the most violent and threatening of all the bad jujus. These are the ones who you'll see movies on, such as The Conjuring, when someone's sitting in a chair and the chair flips completely upside down while someone is in the chair, or someone being violently dragged or thrown. And when I say that they are the most extremely disturbed, terrified, and wild of all the bad jujus, let me just say, it is not a pretty encounter whatsoever. I've only encountered this, I want to say, once. And I literally had to sleep with the lights on in my room for, I want to say, about a week or two. Literally. That's literally how dark and how heavy their energy is. Number 4, parasites. These entities, they're weak and dependent, and they're also in need of comfort and energy. They simply settle into the mind of a body of a person and suck energy from them. So sometimes when someone is having any type of a mental breakdown, if someone is severely depressed, they can be influenced by a parasite. Number 5, troubled ones. So the troubled ones, they're sick, they're sad, and confused. They latch onto the mind of a person and sadden them, discourage, or even confuse them. A lot of times, someone who is severely depressed and have been medically diagnosed with severe depression could be influenced by the troubled ones. It's kind of as if the parasites and the troubled ones kind of go hand in hand, I want to say. Because in order to affect somebody's mind, their mind has to be, I guess we could say, weakened. Okay? So this also can be, this also can affect someone who has Alzheimer's, dementia. Number 6, poltergeist, otherwise known as noisy ghost. And I'm pretty sure we have all seen the movie Poltergeist or have at least heard about the movie, which is one of my favorite movies. So poltergeists, they are very real, and they are entities who are either so confused that they have become playful or so desperate that they resort to throwing physical objects so they can become noticed. It's kind of like a kid who's trying to get your attention. Mommy, mommy, mommy. And I know I'm not comparing a poltergeist to a kid. I'm just giving you an example of the type of energy, right? They can cause pictures to fall off of the wall, books to fly off a shelf or across the room, your appliances to turn on and off, machinery to stop working, or even cause your automobiles to stall. But get this, they have also been known to knock people over and to even throw them out of a window. How scary is that? For you to be in your home, it's just you, you're opening up a window, and next thing you know, you're being lifted and literally thrown out the window. That's just a little bit creepy for me. Okay, honestly, that's a hell of a lot creepy for me. It's said in metaphysical teachings that thoughts are things. A thought actually has a mental form, which can be seen clairvoyantly. So if you can see clairvoyantly, you can see this. It's the mental counterpart of the actual manifestation of the thought on a physical level. And if you follow me on social media, when I do my lives, I always say, always be careful what you say or what you think, because there's energy behind those words. There's energy behind those thoughts, because words do carry energy. So you have to be very careful what you say or what you even think. Thought forms such as negative thoughts are sometimes lodged deep, and I mean so deep in the mind of a person's head or around them. And again, if you can see clairvoyantly, you can see this over a person's head or even around them. Thought forms can also hover over a group of people or over a certain location. So what is a negative thought form? Well, let's say someone made you mad or perhaps cut you off while you were driving, which in Los Angeles, it happens on a daily basis, okay? And you say to yourself, either out loud or in a thought form, meaning you're thinking it, I hope he or she gets a flat tire or someone hits them, whatever it may be. That's a negative thought form that can manifest in the physical world. What about possessions of places and objects? Can this also have an effect on you? Oh, absolutely it can. Entities who possess places and objects are called ghosts. House, rooms, ships, buildings, areas of land, and objects can also be possessed by ghosts, poltergeists, and even thought forms. Entities and negative thought forms often are found in places where there are vibrations of fear, anger, or pain, such as in hospitals, in prisons, in courtrooms, bars, and places where there have been constant conflict. Even churches can be haunted. I think this is a good place to kind of stop for now. So we will have a second part, and we will resume our discussion about the astral realm. I know this was a lot, and it was a heavy topic, but there isn't a lot of information out there to truly teach you. That's why I'm here. This is why we're here. And when I say we, it's myself and my beautiful and amazing spiritual family. You know, I didn't want this to be just your everyday spiritual podcast. I wanted this to be a podcast to teach you so you can learn, so you can protect yourself, so you can make that connection within your own energy, within your own inner Christ, within your own I am. That's what I am here to do. I'm here to teach you. And again, thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Spiritually Influenced. And as always, you can connect with me on social media by visiting my website, vkennedy.com. Until next week, stay well, stay blessed, and stay grounded.
Carry the wisdom, take it inside. Every small step is part of the climb. Honor the journey, trust what you find. The answers live where truth aligns.